All right, beautiful people, welcome back to another amazing and impactful episode of the True Health Forever podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey, where we try to live our best life through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, and as usual, I am accompanied by the beautiful, the smiling, the good vibes queen herself. What's poppin'? Introduce yourself.
What's up, party people?
Oh my gosh! At this point, I feel like do you think about these beforehand?
Just close. My name is Sinclair, aka
The
Health Nerd, and just here in another. We usually do this on Sundays. Today's Saturday.
Mm-hmm. It is Saturday? That's right, it is Saturday.
It is Saturday. It feels like it's Sunday just because we're sitting here doing this, but no, not fam. Only Saturday. Don't cut my weekend short. Don't you dare.
I would never wish that upon anyone.
I don't think I'm my worst enemy.
Want to do a quick shout out. We did look at some analytics, and apparently Apple Music, y'all are giving us a lot of love. Apple Music, Apple Podcast. Shout out to y'all being the most popular platform that our podcast is listened to, followed by Spotify. We know what's up. Thank you. Shout out to all of our Spotify folks. And then we have increased our subscriptions on YouTube. Shout out. So, hopefully if you're starting your own business, starting your health journey, starting a podcast, like, you will see nice, slow, gradual growth, y'all. Just stick with it. This is episode 20 today. So we made 20 episodes. Well done, Queen. I see you. We did that. So, y'all just keep going. You're going to start at zero with everything that you do, and gradually over time, y'all going to get better. You're going to get followers, get subscribers, get income. Just keep going, y'all. Keep going. Queen, your week. Anything you would like to share with us? Any highlights, any lows, anything you just want to talk about on the podcast today? Before we get into the real bulk of it. What you got?
Like leads nicely into what we're going to talk about, but I feel like we've been talking about investing into real estate, so I've been doing a lot of research on that this week, on just different methods. Where do we want to invest? What type of loan do we want to get? Like all that stuff. And it's been a little bit exhausting, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, just because it's, I get emotionally invested. Gotcha. And although I'm trying not to get as emotionally invested, just so that if it doesn't go your way, I don't feel so disappointed or whatever. It doesn't stop the grind. I'm still going to move forward, but I don't want to get as emotionally invested, just in case it doesn't work out how you want it to. Right. But yeah, it's like, you'll find something, or you think of an idea, like, oh, we should do this, and then you get all excited, like, oh, yeah, this will work. And then, you do a little bit more research and find out, like, oh, man, well, that's going to cost more money. Right. Or, oh, man, well, actually, we can't do that in California, whatever it is. So it's a very good learning experience, and we're gonna do some type of real estate investment regardless. Something. But it's a lot of back and forth between like, oh, what are we gonna do? We're going to do this way, or do this way. What type of property are we gonna get? So yeah, it's it's a little bit draining to do that much research, but at the same time, I know that's how I am. Like when
If this is your first time listening, y'all know that Sinclair superpower is analytical and critical thinking. Yeah. So any type of research she does to the 10th power.
I'm like, I'm that person. Like you may, when you search on Google, you probably go to like the top 1 or 2 things. Like I'm that person. Like I'm on page 4.
Page 4?
Okay, that's a slight exaggeration.
Whoa.
But that's not. I have done that before.
Listen, y'all. If your search results are on page 4 of Google, you need to work on your SEO immediately. Search engine optimization, because no one is going past page 2, really. Yeah, I feel like people aren't even going past page 1, but definitely not page 4. I don't even know what page 4. Gosh.
But I just I usually in my research mode, I usually have at least 10 tabs open of just like, oh, okay, what about this? All right, let me open a new tab. Let me start searching on this. So yeah, it's just a lot of brain power on like, oh, this will spark an idea, and then I'll go over here, and then well, let's go back to this, and then but what about this? And then just my brain is just all over the place.
Yeah.
But it is exciting to know what the possibilities are at the same time.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
What about you?
For me this week, which will deal directly with the theme of today, but I feel like this week has been a nice refresh, a nice restart. We got back from our anniversary trip, and I mean, at this point, it's been 3 weeks since we've time. I feel like every time we're like,
3 years, I don't know.
It's time. But like we left first week of July, and I feel like because we went on vacation, we weren't in our household, didn't have our smoothies every day, didn't have our workout equipment every day, so I feel like I fell off my usual health regimen a little bit. So it was good to this week really get back to it. And yeah, there's just been a bunch of stuff with the house, and we've had to like kind of take things out of the kitchen. So and then now we're not able to like cook the really good food that we want, and then there's just stuff messing with my vibes, stuff messing with my vibes. So I was able to kind of click the reset button. And yeah, I'm feeling already pretty good. I got a good routine going back up again. Some things I added to the routine, some things are the same, but I'm liking the health, and I'm already kind of seeing my body flex back to what it was pre-vacation. So I'm liking that as well.
That's good.
And then Academy starts tomorrow. Hey, play Black Wall Street Academy. Shout out to all my scholars. I appreciate y'all. But that's one of the reasons why we're trying to record today instead of tomorrow, because I got a whole class to teach.
Talking a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of talking. So I want to make sure I give the podcast as much energy as possible, make sure I give my students as much energy as possible. So just divide and conquer that. Are you ready to get into the theme for today?
Let's do it.
Okay, so today's theme, kind of alongside with real estate, we are talking about your personal real estate. Yourself under construction.
Yep.
All right. So let's get into the episode. All right, we're back. Under construction is today's theme. We want y'all to look at yourself respectfully as a property, as a grand mansion, as a castle, as a grand estate. This is what your body is. It is a temple. Well, what? Perfect.
There you go.
Oh, couldn't have planned that better. Honestly, I didn't plan it. It kind of came naturally. Your body is a temple, and there are certain times when you need to renovate that temple to make sure that you're getting the most value out of it, depending on what time you're in, what stage of your life you're in, all that good stuff. So, talk about under construction. There's going to be 4 parts over it, and Queen, if you came up with better names, feel free to say the names. But the first stage we're going to talk about is your assessment or appraisal of your temple. Then we're going to talk about how you can source your materials or how you can build your team that's going to help you reconstruct yourself or renovate yourself. The third is going to be actual construction,
renovation.
Right? Exactly, the hard stuff, and that's going to be really building habits. And then the fourth and final is going to be your ARV, your after renovation value, right?
After repair value.
After repair value. Thank you, real estate queen. I appreciate you. All right, so let's launch into assessment/appraisal. What does this stage mean to you, Sinclair, when you think of looking at yourself or looking at like a piece of real estate like you've been doing the past few weeks? And when you're assessing, you're appraising, what things are you looking at?
So I think for me, and I'll say one big difference about, even though we're calling it an appraisal, I think assessment, in terms of like real estate, I think appraisal is good to just give some connection to what we're talking about. When you're talking about an appraisal looks at other homes, right? And other homes in the area and how they're doing. And I think that's actually important not to do.
Good point.
So I think like your self-assessment should almost be the opposite. It should be looking deep within you, regardless of other people around you. So I feel like that's kind of what it is. It's looking inside, like really thinking, asking yourself questions. For me, like assessment, I think is a good way to put it. Like, because you're asking yourself, like, how am I feeling? Like, we always say, like, how are your vibes? How are your frequencies?
What are your frequencies like today?
Like, are you high frequency? Are you feeling good, upbeat? Are you kind of like sluggish, like not really feeling it? So how are you really feeling? Like, how are your relationships? How is your, like, do you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose? Do you feel energized when you wake up? I think those are all questions that I think I would be asking myself in that stage.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. And for me, I'm going to do a lot of personal examples, because literally this was like my mindset the past week. I was trying to be like, all right, Devon, you're about to be under construction. All right, let's get it. What can you work on? Assess yourself, what your frequencies like the Queen said, what's your health looking like. So for me, under construction, the things that I'm focusing on is I took a look at my health. And I think, large scale, I'm living a healthy lifestyle, but zoomed in over like the past 2-3 weeks, Corona, living at the house, coming back from vacation, not being able to cook, like there were a lot of kind of factors that were stopping me from living the healthy life that I probably would have wanted to live. So I was taking a good look at, okay, how can I reconstruct or renovate what I'm eating? How can I reconstruct or renovate my daily workout plan? Another thing, I think we talked about this, was my anxiety levels were a little bit high. And I don't know if that's just being cooped up in the house for so long, or just the pile and mountain of tasks that I have to do. It's probably that one. But I definitely had high anxiety levels, and I was avoiding doing my typical yoga. I used to like wake up in the morning, do my yoga first thing, and then do my 100 push-ups, but I had stopped doing the yoga, and I was just skipping right to the push-ups because I was like, I don't have time to do yoga. But it was like, I do yoga for like 8 minutes.
Right.
So it's like, it wasn't that much time. It was the anxiety saying, you can't slow down, which is interesting because yoga helps you with anxiety. Right. It helps you slow down. So that's something that I reincorporated this week. But assessment, I think you nailed it on the head. You're taking a look within. How am I feeling? Where is my value? So like, okay, I know I'm a speaker, kind of. I'm an interactive speaker. I know that people give me energy. I know that I want to get better in my health. I know that I'm trying to get better in finances. So like, just take a look at really how you're feeling, what you do really well, give yourself kudos, give yourself that value. Then also look, where can I renovate? Where can I add a little bit more value? Where can I take off these countertops and put marble floors? Where can I put in solar panels? Where can I do this, do that to your own temple?
And you mentioned your speaker and interactive. We should talk about that at the beginning. That's something.
Yeah, that was the plan. I get it. I got excited and I just jumped right into it.
You took your DISC assessment.
I did take my DISC assessment yesterday.
Right.
Yes.
What'd you learn?
So I want to rewind a little bit and go over the 2 free assessments. Okay. And then I'll hit the DISC assessment. So we've already, Google. No one's talking to you, Google. Y'all know technology, you just be trying to listen all the time. But there's 2 free assessments that I want to talk about briefly, and then the DISC assessment I think is just fire, and y'all should definitely take that, but it's a little expensive. The first one is the 5 love languages. Yeah. And I feel like I've been kind of talking a lot. Do you want to talk about 5 love languages?
Sure. And if you've watched any of our other podcasts, this is one we've talked about a lot. Right. Because it is free, and it is something that's good for. It's not just about romantic relationships. It's really just how you communicate with people and how you like to be appreciated. So the 5 love languages, it's a book, but it also comes with an assessment that you can take. It's a really quick assessment, just based, fill out some questions, and it'll let you know what type of love language you identify with the most. And it ranks them for you, doesn't it? Yeah, it ranks them for you. So there's words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, and gifts. I think that's all of them, right?
I think so.
So from the question,
physical
touch or whatever.
Yeah, that was my second one.
Yeah. So it'll kind of tell you like what you most appreciate. So if you're kind of like, I don't know, if you've ever received a gift before and you're like, oh, this is cool, right? And it's like, it's something that you appreciate the thought that went into it, but like it's not like as high of a value to you. Whereas like if your significant other were to like sit down on the couch and rub your feet, and it's like, oh my goodness, thank you so much, that's exactly what I needed. Then like maybe.
Yes, I do rub her feet, y'all.
Yes, it's amazing. And for him, it's its head.
Every time.
Those little things that like, what really is it? Acts of service? Is it like, man, I have a stressful day, so taking something off of my plate would really make me feel appreciated right now and feel loved? Then that's probably your love language. So that's a good test just to know yourself and to know what types of things that you value, because that's something you can do for yourself too. That's something that I've learned. Like, so mine's words of affirmation. And I feel like I've always been hard on myself, especially with the way that I talk to myself. So I've heard a lot of people say, like, if you talk to other people the way you talk to yourself, like, what would your life look like? Come on, I would have no friends. Nobody. Because I'd be like, damn, Sinclair. So I like really took a look at myself, like, why do I talk to myself that way? And I feel like I'm trying to always be better, so I'm hard on myself. But I tried to more recently, give myself more words of affirmation. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, you did that. You probably should have done that. But, this is probably why you did it. I understand why you did that, Sinclair. But next time, you should try to do this. Like, exactly how I would talk to other people, I'm talking to myself.
And again, we've said this before. If you're talking to yourself and you know you're talking to yourself, you're perfectly fine. If you don't know, which happened to me a few weeks ago, talk to somebody.
But yeah, I think that's a good free assessment. And then the other one was social styles, right?
Yep, social styles or true colors. Well, again, you'll answer a few questions and it'll let you know, are you a orange, a blue, a green, or sometimes it's different animals and each animal has its own personality and style to it.
Or you'll hear I think the official terms are like driver, analytical, amiable, and expressive. So there's different ways to categorize it, but they all basically say the same thing.
All right, so long story short, we want y'all at some point to take one of these assessments so that you can just know who you are on a little bit deeper level. And then once you maybe have a little bit more resources and you want to invest in knowing yourself a little bit more, take the DISC assessment, which I did take, and I got a 99/95 interactive.
So high.
Which is, y'all see, like, people, hey, camera, hey, microphone, hey, classroom, hey, presentation, hey, YouTube channel, hey, documentary. Like, I just love people, and I love interacting with people. I will be in the world interacting all the time, and that showed very much so in the assessment. What it also showed is I do not like details. Which is her superpower, which is amazing greatness match of what we've created here.
Right.
But if you give me a detail-oriented task, like for the first time I was starting to do purchase orders, and I was just so stressed and so much anxiety was coming in my head because I was doing these purchase orders, and I was finally like, Queen, I need your help. Can you do these? This is not for me right now. It is taking all of my life to sit here and do. Can you please take these on? She was like, yes, I got you. I was like, oh, thank God, thank you. So knowing that, now I know all detail-oriented stuff, either I need a little bit more time to do just because of who I am naturally, or thank the stars and the universe and my ancestors, I have a beautiful queen and wife that I can be like, hey queen, can you do this? And it's done. So assess yourself, because it'll let you know who you need in your life. If you're an I and you're trying to start a business, you're probably going to want to link up with a C, with an S, with a D. That way, and these are different social styles, that way you can have the full picture in your business. If I was the only one in this business, a lot of details would probably get missed.
Yes. Lord have mercy. Yeah, I think especially like when you're saying like starting a business, because there's a lot of like paperwork and things that are involved with that. So I feel like if you're not that person, then yes, find somebody to just double check everything that you do. Make sure all your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted. Because yeah, like it's how your brain is wired. you know, it's perfect that this is called under construction. So I just want to say, if you hear any noises coming from the roof or anything, our roof is also under construction, not ours, but the building roof. So if you hear some hammers, that's what that is. Shout out to live podcasts.
Hey.
Totally forgot what I was saying.
All good, but I'm going to skip us ahead now.
Cool.
All right, because we spent a lot of time on assessment. We do want you all to spend a lot of time on assessment. Just like in the real estate world, you're going to spend the bulk of your time researching and finding the right property, finding the values and where you can add value. You should do the same thing with yourself on an intermittent time schedule.
Yep.
Now, number 2 is building your team or sourcing your materials.
Yep.
Right? So you've made the conscious decision that, man, I really need to work out a little bit more. All right, cool. That was your decision. Where are you going to work out? What equipment do you need? Who is going to be your accountability partner? Daniel, what's up? I'm hitting you up. Marlon, what's up? I'm hitting you up. So who's going to be your accountability partner for working out specifically? Maybe you're like, oh, I need to eat some healthier food. Health nerd, what's up? I need some healthier food. Can you create a meal plan for me? Can you give me an intermittent fasting schedule? Can you X, Y, Z? So this is really your time to figure out what you need from your assessment, and then now who can give you, or what resources can give you what you need.
Right.
Queen, what you want to sprinkle on that? What you want to do with that?
I think it's a nice segue into connection to what we were just talking about. Based on your assessment, if you realize that you are an I, then when you're talking about like sourcing your materials but also building your team, find somebody who can, again, cross those T's, dot those I's for you. Make sure that all of the detail-oriented things are there. But I feel like I just want to say that be very honest with yourself when you're doing this part.
Yes.
Because it is very easy to say like, no, you know what, I don't need an accountability partner. I can hold myself accountable. Says everyone at some point in their life. And no one is successful at it, right? Because you give yourself a lot of leeway. You can, we've mentioned this on previous podcasts.
I got a thing next.
Okay. Is that you trying to keep it?
Yeah, I was like, let me remember. Hold it right there.
Go ahead, man.
Oh, so we're watching the Michael Jordan documentary right now, The Last Dance. And it's interesting because I feel like you know Michael Jordan, he's a very disciplined person. And I feel like to a certain extent, he was very good at holding himself accountable.
Right.
But one thing that he always wanted to do was win a championship. And he could not do that by himself and didn't know how to do that by himself. And it took Phil Jackson coming in, changing the structure, giving him a little bit more coaching and giving him a system to work with. And then now that he has this system, boom, which he couldn't create by himself, now he can become a champion.
Right.
So I think it's interesting. Even if you think you're holding yourself accountable and you say, I'm going to do this, and you do it, there might be things that you're not even thinking about doing, or systems that you don't have no knowledge about how to use, that you can have an analytical person or have a driver now give you that system, and it takes yourself to the next level. Right. So even if, again, you think you can hold yourself accountable, highly encourage you to at least get one other person who's not exactly like you, who can give you another framework, another way to see the world.
Not only is not exactly like you, but is not going to be easy on you, right?
That part.
If you find your bestie who's gonna be like, man, if you're like, I don't feel like doing the workout today, and they're like, man, that's okay, that's right, take a day off. That's not the one for you. Mm-hmm. That's not the one you need. You want the person who's gonna be like, nope, you said you wanted to do it every day, so let's go, let's hit it. You'll thank me later. Mm-hmm. That's the person that you want. But I was gonna add on, like, I feel like when you think about, I'm thinking. The vision that comes to mind is like a horse in the races. Like if you're a horse in the races, you need to get to that finish line, but you have a very narrow view, right? You can't really blinders. See. Yeah, you got the blinders on. You can't see what else is going on. So you need somebody else in the stands. You need somebody else who can tell you what's going on, tell you what else you need to be doing to get to that next level. So yeah, like MJ, he was very good at what he did. And he was very good at when he had the ball and handling the ball and putting it in the basket. Mm. But that doesn't win championships, right? It's not a team of one. Right. Although he would joke and say there's no I in team, but there's I in win.
Right, but she wasn't winning the championship.
That part, right? So again, it took Phil Jackson to say, hey, utilize your team. not only utilize your team, but you need to build your team, like in practices, right? And that was another part that I remembered. He said his shift was from building himself to now building Scottie Pippen, you know, so that when during the games he can pass it over to him and have faith that like he's gonna make that shot, and that I feel like is what took the team to the next level and was able to take them to the championship. What, 5 times, 6 times?
Yeah.
So yes, I think it's important, like you said, to get somebody who's not like you, and is going to actually hold you accountable. Do not get a yes man. Do not get a pushover who's just gonna be like, it's okay. You know, find someone who's actually going to hold you accountable to whatever you're trying to do.
Right. And one last note, because I want to riff off what you just said, and we can move on to the third stage, which is construction. But that was kind of the premise of this podcast, of True Health Forever in general. Like, we understand our primary market is our family and friends. So we are building our team, building the team around us, hoping that other friends are going to have podcasts, have documentaries, have video equipment, have businesses in general. That way we can all build a business together and we can all get to the championship as a squad.
Right.
So again, if you're a friend on here, hey friend, what's up? Feel free, DM us. You have our probably personal, but you also the True Health Forever on Instagram. Go ahead and send us a DM. And you know, personally, I'm also looking for interns. I don't know if the Queen's looking for interns, but I can always use some college interns, and maybe we'll actually create an application and formalize that process a little bit.
We could always use some help.
Right, that part.
Yeah, I'm not an I, so social media is exhausting.
Social media is exhausting for me too, to be honest with you. Well, the social media part, the posting isn't exhausting. It's like all the interactions.
Yeah.
We have like 4 different accounts, so they keep switching back and forth.
Side note, do you know how crazy you need to be an entrepreneur with multiple social media accounts?
Real crazy.
So if you know anything about like the algorithms, and I know this from the king, is that like within the first 10 minutes, and I don't even know if it's still like this, but I'm assuming it is, within the first 10 minutes that you post something, like depending on how many likes and comments you get, it'll help like it show up in everybody's feeds. So knowing that we each manage like 3 Instagram accounts, when you post something on one, then you go to your other accounts, and then you have to interact with the same post that you just made as if you're a different person. And then you go to your next account, and it literally feels like a crazy person.
Yeah, so let's do a quick, what are the rules section. If you have multiple accounts, how many times can you comment on your own account from another?
Right.
Like, how many times can you do it back and forth? Like, if I post on Play Black Wall Street and then I interact with it as my own account, oh, this is a great post, and then I interact with it with Play Black Wall Street, oh, thank you, what do you think? And then I interact with it again on myself, oh, it's a great. What are the rules? How many back and forths?
I've never actually done that, gone back and forth that many times.
I just want to know.
I'll go back and like it. I'll like my own post, but I never actually like. So if I post on Potluck and then I go to Be Health Nerd and I comment, when I go back to Potluck, the most I've only done is like it. I haven't actually responded back to myself.
Yeah, me either.
You're having a full-on conversation like, "Oh, this is great. Yeah, what do you think? Oh, actually, I think you need to improve upon this. Oh, that's a great observation, King."
If you know you're talking to yourself, it's okay.
That's hilarious.
If you lose track and forget. Oh, man. All right, let's get back to it. So.
Wait, one more thing.
Go ahead.
Sometimes I do legitimately be getting excited, though, because I'll, like, go back to the post and comment.
Oh, I got a comment?
2 people commented.
Oh.
It's just me.
It's just me and Devon. Gosh, dang it. Oh, like we said, y'all got to start with 0 followers, and eventually you're going to run it up.
Right.
All right, so start with yourself, interact with yourself if you have to, and eventually folks will come. All right, so step 3. This is arguably, I think, the hardest step, because this is actually construction now. All right, so now you are building, you are renovating, you are removing bricks, you're putting up bricks, you're getting your new piping, your laminate floors, your marble, you're good and all this stuff. And how I translate construction to actual your body is, what are the habits that you are now forming to create the structure of yourself. All right, so these are daily habits, these are weekly habits, monthly habits, yearly habits, whatever you want to do. I would say you probably want to start with like weekly or daily to get the construction. Like if you're only laying one brick a year, it might take you a while, but depending on what the goal is, one brick a year can be appropriate.
Right.
So if you're trying to increase your physical health, and I have an example, but Queen, if you have an example, you can go because you are the health nerd. If one is trying to increase their physical health, what
By
is
increase? You mean just improve?
Improve. Thank you, Queen. You're so good with your words. You so good. I see you. If someone's trying to improve their physical health, what is a habit or an action that they can do every single day?
My first one is always smoothies.
Smoothies?
Drink a smoothie. But I would say even before then, drinking. Probably the most easy thing you could do is wake up and drink a glass of water. Drink a glass of water with some lemon or some apple cider vinegar or some superfood, something in it to kind of flush your system out. It's a way of detoxing, so that you keep your body regular, but also that you're getting out, getting out with the old, in with the new.
Something like that.
Yeah. So that's like a super easy step. But yeah, this is I feel like I do get this question a lot, and smoothies, drinking one smoothie a day is, I think, the most easy step that you can.
Not Jamba Juice.
Not Jamba Juice.
One, because they ain't a sponsor, but two, because it's not the most healthy.
No, right? They have like the added sherbets and a lot of added sugar and things with that. I'm talking about a very healthy smoothie with a little bit of fruit, some veggies, and like greens are a must on a daily basis. So get some spinach, get some kale, get some Swiss chard, get some arugula, something in your smoothies to alkalize your body. They're one of the most greens are one of the most nutrient dense vegetables and foods on this planet. Get some healthy fat in there, use some nuts, use some coconut milk, that helps you stay full. Get a little bit of protein. Satiated, yes, sir.
That's a word I learned from the Queen. Satiated.
That's the feeling where it's like, oh, I'm good, I'm not craving anything, I feel like I'm not full, I'm content. Satiated is like how I feel after eating my what I call my clutch snack, like a handful of raw almonds. I'm satiated. I feel okay. I'm not hungry or anything. Throw some nuts in there, throw some seeds, some flax seeds, some chia seeds, and protein. I always like to add a little bit of protein powder because that does help you stay full. So I drink smoothies as a meal, so I want my smoothies to keep me full for a couple of hours. That's I think one easy step.
Boom. And I'll shift it over to like finances, or maybe you are an entrepreneur. I'll do finances first really quickly. If you're trying to increase or improve your financial health, the first thing is you need to have a budget, right? So if you're like, man, I really want to save and have a house one day. I really want to save and put money into stocks, but I just don't know where my money goes. And I talk to a lot of people who they have good jobs. They're making some good money, but they're like, yeah, I just don't know where my money goes. And I say, oh, well, you need a budget, all right? So if you are trying to improve, go ahead and set aside a budget, and I would say you want to review that budget on a monthly basis. That budget and also how much you actually spent on a monthly basis. So if you said groceries was going to be $300 a month, $500 a month, $700 a month, that's what you said, and then you spend $1,000 because you eat out every single day, you might want to assess that and figure out, okay, well, I said $300, but I'm spending $1,000, so that's a $700 gap that could be going towards something else. So let me get better at that. Shifting to business, if you're trying to establish and set up your business, let's say, I'm a proponent or advocate of to-do lists. So, and we have it like written outside on a whiteboard, so it's physical. We also have it on our phones, but create your to-do list, and like every day, I would say, if you want to do it for a week, you can, but I would say at least every day, what is one or two things you can do towards your goal of creating your business or improving your business? Just to keep it simple, like what two things? It can be, I'm going to post on Instagram today. Cool. Post, Black Wall Street the board game. Go get it. Post, but hey, for real, y'all can go get it. Playblackwallstreet.com. Like, go get that game. I appreciate it. But boom, every day I'm going to post. Every day I'm going to write a blog, or every day I'm going to reach out to someone who could be a partner, whatever it makes sense for your business model. I would say at least one, probably, bless you, maybe even two to-dos that you can do every single day to increase your business.
I think like to-do lists are important because I know for me, when I think about like a big goal, it can seem very daunting. I'm like, how am I gonna get this accomplished? But I feel like once you break it down into its little micro tasks, it's like, oh, it's actually only 10 steps that I need to do, and then it's done. So I feel like it's very important to create that to-do list. And like normally I like to like reverse engineer it. So I think about the goal.
I'm a analytical thinker. Let's reverse engineer it. That's your wheelhouse, girl.
So I like to think about what is the goal? What is the end goal? Right? What am I trying to accomplish? What are the different steps that I literally do this like on pen and paper because I'm a pen and paper type of gal. But think about the big goal, right? Okay, so if I want to make this, get this accomplished, these are the subcomponents that need to get accomplished. All right, and in order to accomplish these subcomponents, these are the little tasks that need to get done. And then I look at, okay, what's the time frame I want to do this at, and how much time is it going to take to do each of these subtasks? And I literally like to write out so I just did this yesterday. So I have like 10 tasks and I have like 5 months. So I'm like, okay, I can roughly do about 2 of these tasks per month. And some of them take a little bit longer than others, so I keep that in mind, but I literally like to drag, okay, so this is going to be this month, this is going to be, I'm also a visual person, so that helps me, but that helps me create my to-do list. So I know, okay, so if I'm doing this month, that means this week I need to be doing that. And you can get as granular as you want. So if this week I need to be accomplishing this, that means today I need to do this. And I feel like it just makes it, for me, reverse engineering it makes it so much less daunting and so much more doable. When it's like, oh, that's all I have to do? Okay. But if you think about man, I'm trying to create an app in 5 months, it sounds crazy. But if you kind of break it down into its pieces, it's like, oh, okay, no, I got this.
Right. I think that's where, first of all, again, your superpowers are just shining through right now, because I'm just like, God, that's so much detail. I would never do that. But if you're another person out there who's very detail oriented, well, that is a prime example. Something that I do is I usually just do a proposal. This gives me the high level details. So if I'm creating an app, these are the high level details, high level outcomes that I want. And then just every day I wake up, it's like, all right, how can I make a step towards one of these goals? So there's no necessarily right answer. That's why we want you to assess. That was the first step. Assess who you are and how you approach things,
right.
And then act accordingly and make sure that you know yourself. All right. Let's see. What's another thing for habits? So we can give y'all habits probably off and on. Y'all see, we like to talk. Some of us more than others. Hey, I'm a high eye. But I would say figure out what habits you need to do to accomplish your goals. Weekly, monthly, yearly, bi-yearly, all the other time things that are out there.
Yes.
Cool.
And make sure that those habits are actually going to get you to your goal. If you develop your habits just based on what you want to do, that's cool. But if that doesn't match up with what you are trying to accomplish, then it's not going to get you anywhere. Then you're going to reassess yourself in a month or whatever. You're going to be just as far from your goal, even though you've been staying on your habits. So make sure that your habits are actually getting you to where you want to go. So if I'm trying to think of an example of something that wouldn't match up. But if your goal is to lose weight, but you created a habit to never waste food, that's not working. That's probably not going to work, because then you're sitting there and you're going to force yourself to eat whatever's in front of you. Counterintuitive to losing weight, where you should be eating just until you're full and save the rest. So that was just off the top, but make sure that whatever your habit is actually conducive to what you're trying to accomplish.
Facts. Ready to round the corner and go to ARV? All right, let's get it. So you're after repair value, right? So this is after you've assessed yourself, you've met your folks to source your material, you've done the construction and renovation. Now, the finished product, the new temple, what value is that temple bringing to your personal life, bringing to your loved ones, or bringing to the world? And I think you can you might be able to project the ARV, and this is what you can do in real estate. You can project what the ARV is, and then you're also going to want to, once you actually reach the renovation, figure out what is that real value. So giving you hardcore personal examples, for me, if I am able to renovate my health, and I'm doing yoga every day, I'm running 3 times a week, I'm doing my 100 push-ups in the morning, the ARV is going to be a fine chocolate husband. You I'm sorry, y'all experienced that.
You're already fine with it.
Oh, I appreciate that, Queen. You ain't got front for the podcast, people. You ain't got front for the podcast. Ooh, I'm gonna do some sugar. Ooh, on air. Come on, this is a good. All right, we gotta wrap up this podcast. We gotta have to wrap up ASAP. So thank you for joining this podcast. But that is one example. Another example is if I am able to live a healthier lifestyle, if I am able to reset the foundation, redo the plumbing, now the temple itself will last longer. Mm-hmm. So my grandkids, my kids, they can now enjoy the temple that is Devon Truvel as well. Yep. Another one example is in your economic health. If you're thinking, okay, I want to be able to save $700 a month, that way I can buy real estate. That's your ARV, to be able to invest in real estate and create generational wealth and possibly even passive income for yourself if you're able to rent out different things, or if you can start a home-based business now so you get better tax deductions, whatever it is. So yeah, ARV. Queen, any nuggets you would like to add to that? You got me all flustered and stuff, kissing me on the cheek. I can't even think no more. Man.
Sorry, not sorry. I was just trying to think of like another example. Like, I feel like however you assessed yourself the first time, assess yourself that same way after however much time has gone by. So like whatever questions you asked yourself, whatever check-in type of check-in you did. So how am I feeling? How are my frequencies? How are my relationships? How's my health? Mm-hmm. Ask yourself those same questions after you feel like you've made whatever steps you needed to make.
And this is why you're so great. Because like that makes, I didn't think about that, but that makes such good sense. Mm-hmm. To have a, boom, these are the 5 questions I'm going to ask myself when I'm going under construction to assess. Right. I'm going to go through the process, and at the end, I should ask myself the exact same questions and see what is the change. Oh, analytical. Good stuff. Good stuff, Queen.
But yeah, do the same assessment. Ask yourself, you should see an improvement. If you don't, then maybe you need to reassess again what type of habits. Then, like I was just saying before, maybe the habits you have developed for yourself aren't conducive to the goal you're trying to meet. Mm. If you're saying, I wanna improve my physical health, I wanna feel better, I want to have my 6-pack, whatever it is.
It's coming, y'all.
And you've been doing this for 3 months now, running 3 times a week. You've been eating, and I feel like that's not a good example, because if you do that, you'll get the results. Mm. But if you say you're gonna do whatever it is, and then you don't see the results, you ask yourself, and you're like, I actually feel more tired, and I'm eating out, then whatever habits you came up with, they ain't working. So let's reassess, come up with some new habits to get you to that goal. Right. But yeah, I think it is important to do the same assessment, because if you switch it up, then you may vary the questions. You may be able to kind of skew the results again to like, oh no, I feel good, yeah, or whatever. Switch up the questions in your favor, right, to let yourself off a little bit easier. When in actuality, you should be asking yourself kind of those same questions.
Gotcha. So live brainstorm right here. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about? Because I like this concept under construction. The form, I feel like you would make a great pre-assessment / post-assessment form for folks. How do you feel about trying to do some type of under construction program or some type of under construction group? I'm just thinking like as an action item, and I don't know how many people are going to listen to this podcast, but it can be something that we promote otherwise. And right now this is just a live brainstorming session. Because I feel like that would be very powerful, and I already can imagine a few folks that I know that would want to take advantage of this, whether it's their business under construction, their own health, their relationships. I can see folks wanting to get assessed and get that accountability from a cohort. Mm-hmm. What are your live thoughts on this?
Well, because we've talked about doing an accountability group. I feel like that would be probably a good thing to have for that accountability group. So I don't know. I feel like they would have to be kind of broad questions, because it depends on what you're going to apply it to. Either broad questions or have different assessments. You know what I'm saying? So if you're assessing your health, you're probably going to have different questions than if you're assessing your business. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel like they either need to be very broad, or how do you feel about whatever your goal is? That can be very broad. Or yeah, maybe have different ones depending on what people are trying to accomplish.
Okay, gotcha. Live brainstorming session. Y'all may see some products or some services, some support groups come out of this, but I appreciate y'all for being here. Anything else on ARV under construction assessment? Any of those topics?
No.
Feeling good?
Covered it.
Okay, hopefully y'all are feeling good. We do want y'all to make sure you're taking action. So right after this, if you haven't already, assess yourself. Yep. Take the 5 love languages. Take the, what was it, personality, social styles. Thank you, Queen.
And you can, I literally just find this right now because I'm going to do it with our team. Type in social style assessment. You can find a form online. It's literally just fill these out, calculate the answers, and then it'll tell you at the bottom what you are. So the love languages and the social styles are both free, easy Google searches.
Boom. Get on it. So, thank you again for tuning in to the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live our best life through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Truvel, creator of Black Industry.
My name is Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd.
We hope y'all stay healthy. We hope y'all stay mentally wealthy. And of course, we hope y'all stay true.
True.